Shop Talk Live, where professional stylists, barbers, makeup artists, and nail techs give you the 411 on the good, the bad, and the ugly of everything you want to know about natural hair, hair weaving, makeup, nails, education, products, and more. Real talk. It's what you've been waiting for. Shop Talk Live. Good, bad, the ugly.
Welcome to Shop Talk Live, everybody. I'm glad we have this live audience, beautiful live audience. Thanks for coming out. Today we have a very special panel of barbers. So our talk today is all about barbering. Give it up for our panel of barbers. So really quick, guys, can you introduce yourselves, starting with this AJ, right?
Yes.
Starting with AJ, right here on the left.
Nickname AJ, but my government name is, they call me Albert Johnson. I'm an educator at Beauty Schools of America.
How you guys doing? My name is Montalvo. I'm also an educator at Beauty Schools of America.
How y'all doing, man? My name is Josh. They call me Chief Cutter. You can check me out at Chief Cutter, Master Barber.
Michael Dora. I also stand behind the chair, and I'm also an instructor at Hollywood Institute in Florida Technical College.
Well, I want to thank you guys for coming out. With that being said, let's jump right into our topic. So, first topic, I want to talk about cutting behind the chair as opposed to being a platform barber. What do you guys think is like best about, like, you know, both situations, if you've been in both situations?
Well, I mean, me personally, I can't speak from a standpoint of a platform artist. I never had that experience. But cutting behind the chair, I mean, the money is good, the living is okay. You know, I'm all right with it. Like I said, I can't.
You're all right with it. So do you find yourself being bored with being in the salon? Wait, you're a teacher too?
Yeah.
So you're not in the salon all day, or in the barbershop all day, I should say. My bad.
I'm not. So I'm instructing, and I find joy out of that. And then I'm cutting hair from the house. I have my shop as well. Then I do a little photography work. So.
Oh, cool. So you're not just cutting hair. Who here just like cuts? You just you teach, you instruct also. You just cut.
Me, I just cut, but I just cut everywhere. Wherever you at, you need a cut. I pull the
So
clippers
you're
out
not
the pocket,
strictly
cut you right
in the
there.
barbershop either. Like,
Man,
what about you?
Well, I just transitioned into instructor.
Okay.
Before January, behind the chair 100% of the time.
Okay, Mississippi, that's you, Mississippi. Okay, so that's cool. Like, none of you guys. So really, you are all like platform barbers in a sense.
I wouldn't say platform artist barbers, you know what I'm saying? I say more educators, you know what I'm saying? Educators and knowledge, but platform artists, is, to me, is a different thing.
Platform artists.
Yeah, it's a different thing, because what it goes by is these platform artists and these hype barbers, they go all about, you know, these companies want how many followers you have on Instagram, how many Facebook followers you have, so they can sponsor you, you know what I'm saying? And really and truly, what I think is every client that sits in your chair, or every student that sits in your classroom, is an artist. You know, it's what they call it, the clientele, the upscale clientele.
Oh, upscale clientele.
Yeah. All of them are artists. All of them are rappers. All of them. Everybody who sits in your chair.
You're doing a piece of art
Yes,
for
sir.
everybody
Yes,
that
sir.
sits in your chair.
That's what I think.
Well, absolutely. I believe that as well. I believe that as well. But now, with that being said, like, you have like, let's say your Picassos who really go ham with like the designs and all of that.
That's beautiful artistry. I love that. Don't get me
Do you
wrong.
get into it?
I personally don't.
You do.
I
Well,
do. I
you
do.
got a little design
Yeah,
over
yeah,
here.
I
Like,
mean, I
show
just-
the audience what you got going on.
You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of it, man. I got into it. I've been cutting about 10 years now, and when
Okay.
I first got into it, I was like, what can I do to get myself out there? What can I do to put myself on? I need to get out there. I need to get clientele. So
Right.
one of the other barbers in my shop, they was always doing designs, but he used to always say, man, I'm getting tired of this stuff. I'm getting too old. So I'm like, man, well, you need to teach me what you're doing, because I'm still too young. And, he showed me it, and I just took off from there, man. I done did all kind of designs.
Cool. Well, I hear like you're sort of a mentor also to the little kids who come into
Yeah,
the shop.
man.
Well, I wouldn't say
Big
little
time.
kids, until the youngsters.
To the youngsters,
Yeah.
yeah, man. I mean, I love to talk to the youngsters, man. The kids, they need our support the most, you know. I feel like a lot of the people these days, they just be like, man, stay out those young people away, man. Don't talk to them. But you got to talk to them, you know.
Right.
So
Well, and that's where we lose the future. Our future is losing its way because we don't have enough adults educating the youth or mentoring. I wouldn't say educating, but mentoring the youth to lead them into the right direction. So so that's pretty major. That's really, really important.
For example, one thing in the barbershop that goes on a lot is, as in the youth, I mean, even on the football field, you see it be more mothers involved in there with their children than you see fathers. So even in the barbershop, it'd be a lot of women that come in with their children, and the women be like, man, I don't know what to do with my kid. He's being bad, the teacher calling. So, as the barbers, you got to use that platform to talk to the youth. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you can't let your mom feel like that. Don't make your mama feel like you don't care about what she's doing for you. So we try to talk to them in those aspects, and they look at us as a counselor.
Absolutely.
Outside the household. So.
Well, I commend you for that. But I commend you. Let's give him a round of applause, please. Let's give him a hand for that. Okay, so. There's something new that's out that I heard about. It's called
pigmentation.
Microblading pigmentation. Can explain to us a little bit what that's about?
What it is, it's a cosmetology tattoo, but it's not a real tattoo. They use different types of machine, which is what it is microneedling using pigmentation to manipulate or replicate hair in the hair follicle. Okay,
so basically that's a technique used to create a hairline for men.
Kind of hairline if you're balding or if you're if you're receding in somewhere or losing some hair.
LeBron James.
That man got his hair back. Stop. You don't wear the headbands
Castellanos. You gotta thank Nick for that. The hairline. But it's something it's coming up now. It's something different, and I think barbers and stylists should actually look into it because we're always looking for some type of different income besides just color cut.
So in other words, the old Beijing, but that's out of style.
It's not. Everybody uses they use a lot of fiber, a lot of the Biggin, a lot of the Kiss, but
Biggin. So I'm sorry, Biggin Kiss color. All right,
so
correct me. I'm wrong.
It's actually something that you can supplement with that. It takes about 3 to 6 years to come off, where you really lose the color of it. So, it just retouches in 3 to 6 years.
Very, very interesting.
So it's something everybody should look into, and go forward from it.
Interesting. So do you, all you guys kind of use like hair color and everything, to fill in spots or whatever?
Yeah, so I feel as though that nowadays, where we are in the industry, if you're not using it, I think you're missing out on the opportunity to satisfy your client and give them an alternative to what their issues may be, because guys are always looking for alternative or answer to receding hairline, standing, and balding.
Yeah, of course. And I tell you one thing, I'm sorry, but me in the barbershop, I work next door to a hair salon.
Okay.
So it'd be women coming in there wanting their haircut, and then they'd be like, okay, when you finish cutting my hair, I'm gonna go over there and get a color. And I'd be like, hold on, wait.
I got your color right here.
Get some of that money too. What kind of color you need?
It adds extra income.
Yeah,
It adds
to,
extra income.
Get all that.
We learn all that in school, what I'm saying? Especially me and AJ, we and also Mike, we educate, barbers because we take a lot of what they call the cosmetology curriculum and we apply it because, we do teach chemical textures, hair coloring, women's hair cutting. So they know how to do highlights and bleaching and retouches and all around hair coloring.
Cool.
What I think we need to do more platforms like this.
Right.
To let people know the importance of being a barber. I think that has been lost over the years. And you guys are educators.
Yes.
When you look in that book, we have 5 pages on the history of barbering. And it's more history than that.
Oh, of course.
When you go back and look into the beginning of time, barbering was here. Combs were here. And that history has been lost some kind of way.
Yes, it has. A lot of the tradition has been lost in the barbershop. It's gone to a different level, but I want to say 2012 is where barbering made its comeback. And it made a huge comeback, especially, with all the Pacinos, the Curtis Smiths, the Jesse Limas, and
let me
to name the few, you know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. Do you think let me ask you this. Do you think social media had a lot to do with that?
A huge impact.
Comeback.
Huge impact on it. Especially with all these social media outlets that are basically free. Instagram, one of the biggest, if not
platform,
The biggest.
social
Right.
media platform there
social
is,
media
yeah.
platform there is that you can snap a picture of a haircut or a haircutter or a style you did, and you can upload it. And I want to say, millions of people will see this. And if you use the correct hashtags and the correct timing, you got to think about the West Coast time, the East Coast time, Central time. You use the correct timing, you will find yourself picking up business left and right.
I got you. So I'm gonna ask a question that I probably will always ask, no matter what, because it never gets old to me in my head. Men don't know how to treat razor bumps. So let's kind of like answer that question on how do you avoid getting razor bumps and how to get rid of them when you do get them.
Well, for one, you have to check the different ethnic groups first,
Definitely.
because you can't do one thing to a particular race that you do to the other.
You can say black and white. It's
Black,
America.
you can't
It's
because
American people.
it's skin. Skin
Okay.
is different in different races.
So what's the difference between black skin and white skin?
One thing that I've noticed is that black skin is more sensitive to the razor. We can't use a razor on an everyday basis, and because what I've noticed and from my dealings of dealing with it is the fact of you take off a layer of skin, and once you take that layer of skin off, our skin doesn't know where to grow back out at. That's where those razor bumps come
The
from.
hair doesn't know where to grow.
So
how to grow back.
it
Gotcha.
grows under the skin, and that's where the problem
that
comes
causes
in.
the problem. So how do we treat that? How to get rid of that? Like
Basically, like Mike said, you got to know who you can give a razor shave or an actual shaver, like the Andes shavers or the Walls. You got to know who you can do that to, because not everybody can do it to. Even me with my sin, I can't use a wall shaver on me because I actually bump up.
Okay.
I actually get ingrown hairs.
so so I go to the barber shop Saturday, Monday. I'm getting like razor bumps. How do I treat that at home? Do I get like a hot towel or
You can
maybe
get
tin skin
there's
or
different
sea
ways,
breeze?
but-
Like
I'm gonna tell you, tin skin has, for me, I've been doing it for about 10 years, and I think tin skin is probably about one of the best products that you can use. But besides the tin skin, you want to make sure you got that woman at home that's gonna get that hot rag. You know what I'm saying? And
throw that
warm-
thing in the microwave for about
warm
30
that rag
seconds.
up, put it on that thing, get it soft, and get that. Because actually, those bumps come from ingrown hairs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, like he's saying, everybody is different. Everybody, when you look at these, your client, every client, you got to analyze their hair, and you got to
You
look
can
at.
stop looking at
No, I'm
mine.
looking at yours. You got to look at the density, and you know what I'm saying.
Right.
See how strong. If their hair is coarse or if their hair is very thin, you know what I'm saying. That tells a lot of difference. It's also the sensitive skin. If their skin is sensitive. You got some men that has sensitive skin, but hair is very coarse.
Mm-hmm.
You got some men that skin is not sensitive at all. You can put a knife on it, and it ain't gonna you know what I'm saying?
That is
So
true.
you got to actually look at that skin and everything else opposed to it.
Okay. So Mike, you are Mike / Mississippi. How'd you get Mississippi again?
I'm from Mississippi.
Okay. So that's basically your
Yes.
nickname. Gotcha. Do you travel at all?
Not as much so as I did. I'm basically just Miami based now. I'm trying to get back out there where I can and able to do that more, but I want to do it more so now as an educator,
Okay.
because I want to be able to talk to the future barbers of the world and educate them on the simple fact of how to be a barber. Forget the Instagram hype. Forget the hype behind. I want the education behind it.
Definitely.
I want that future barber to stand behind that chair and be educated on barbering, just like a doctor would be educated on his client.
Gotcha. Well, we need barbers
So
like you.
when he speak on educating, that's
Uh-huh.
big time, because when I went to school, like from my instructors, one of the biggest things I learned in school as far as the education part was the head structure. You know, the scalp structure. You know, as far as the occipital bone, the parietal ridge, you know, the crown, all of those.
You better use the
you know,
name.
when-
You better use the correct
No,
term.
seriously, when you know those,
No, it's
when you know those, it helps you as far as doing the fade or blowout, because you know every exact point on the head. You know what I'm saying? So it's a system. It's a systematic cut to everybody head. Everybody head is shaped different, but everybody
Right.
got the same exact bones. You know, as far as in the head. So it becomes, when you know the educational part about it, you know every other.
and that goes back to the platform artists or these platform educators. I have nothing against them. I love them. You know what I'm saying? I love to take their
Right.
classes and sit and learn something new. But I see as educators,
Mhm.
as the ones that sat there for a year. And sometimes, like, I know in Florida it's $1,200. That's a year. In California, that's $1,600. That's 16 months.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I see that all these companies and all that stuff give these people more credit for their Instagram followers than for the education that they put into these barbers.
He's absolutely correct.
Okay, and that's what Mike was saying, because I totally agree with him. Like again, to the platform artists, no disrespect, but they need to bring it back to the educational part.
Well, there is a way, and you guys need to figure it out as barbers. Y'all should get together. There is a way to bridge the gap between education, platform artists, and social media. There has to be a medium somewhere, because without because without social media, you won't make the money that you make. You won't get the attention that you get, for lack of words. So you definitely need social media. So you guys should get together and talk about that. You know, how to bridge the gap between education, platform artists, and social media, because all of it's important. In my personal opinion, all of it's very, very important.
Yeah, it is. But like he was saying, it's hard when you have the big name clipper companies that's standing behind over here with $1 million, and they're pushing it into an Instagram individual who have hundreds of followers, and they're pushing a product in their hand and saying, push, 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 push. This is the best product. That is the best product. And I always tell my students, you guys are the ones. You are in school. Just like cancer, the cure for it may be found in a college, the cure for the solution that we're talking about is going to be formulated in these schools. It's going to take the future barbers of the world to do it with the help of us.
See, like with everything y'all speaking on, that's everything y'all saying is true. But with all of that put to the side, you can't be successful in this business without knowing how to have great client consultation.
Of course.
You know, and
That's important.
I don't care how talented you are. I don't care what clipper brand you with. If you don't know how to deal with that one person immediately, you know, and ask them, okay, what are you looking for? You know what I'm saying? And have a great understanding and rapport with those people, know how to communicate, then you ain't gonna go too far.
You ain't gonna go too
So
far
you
at all,
gotta be able
especially
to-
customer service.
Gotta be
It
tough.
starts with the customer consultation, and it, throughout the haircut, throughout the services with the customer service. 100%. I agree with you, Chief. 100%.
So AJ, how do you conduct your client consultations?
Well, first and foremost, you got to be confident and sure what you're talking about, and it helps to do research. You know, like for example, I can give you an example of a student, and at this particular time, I was covering cosmetology for like a month, and I was thrown into the fire. Not my strong point. You know,
oh, my
so
bad.
you know, the client had like shoulder length or more or less arm length hair, and she wanted to go to a short
Oh
bob.
wait, I'm glad you said she, because I'm thinking it's a dude, and I'm like,
No, I'm saying, but it's a female, but we still talk about client consultation.
right.
And as a male, this just me personally, I can feel at times when I step to a client and they're anticipating what's going to come out of my mouth, how's my persona, how firm am I speaking. And when I was doing that and I was explaining to her what we're going to do or what have you, and she was like, oh, okay, you know, and she was real relaxed and we went through with it. But the main thing is hear the client, hear what the client want.
Right.
Repeat it, and then before you start again, just to verify like one more time.
And make sure it's
You know?
actually feasible, because
Correct.
sometimes clients ask for things that
Yeah.
Like he
It
said,
can't be
what
done.
he's saying is right, because most clients, they come in the shop and say, yeah, man, give me a 3. And they looking at the head and I'm like, boy, you ain't even got a 2. What you mean a 3? So a lot of them don't really know what they're asking for, but they say, okay, man, I heard this what the other dude said in the barbershop. So you got to really ask them what they want to understand, what they're looking for. A lot of times they say, man, just give me a 2. Basically what they telling me is just keep it dark. So I'm
Gotcha.
going to put a 1 and keep it dark, you know?
So
you
wait,
gotta understand.
before we get away from that, you said something. You said clients ask for a 3. You said clients ask for a 3 and they don't have a 3. They ain't even got a 2.
Right.
So I'm thinking that put me in the mind of man weaves. Like there's this new thing out where we get hair glued to our scalp. It's called a man
Right.
weave.
Nah,
do any of you
nah.
guys do that, or like what do you think about that?
No.
It's
I think it's a good thing, me personally. And the reason why, because what's wrong with a guy wanting to look a certain way?
Have a full head of hair.
You know, and what's wrong with a solution to it if it's a solution can be made? And guess what? It's always been here. A toupee has always been around. It's just a new name now.
Man weave.
Now it's man weave.
Yeah.
But the proper term that we teach on the book is hair replacement.
Hair replacement.
Men's hair
Gotcha.
replacement, and we go through the whole pulling out the plastic foils, measuring out the hair, make sure everything is even, and then we insert hair by hair, and that's how we can actually do it. Some people actually do the measurements and they send them out to a company, and they send it back, and then they charge their clientele just to put them on, and then upkeep to that, and it's another way to make money.
How much would something like that go for in the salon?
Depending on the length, I mean, like I said, you charge your worth, man. Everybody here has a worth. You know what I'm saying? I had a number 130 earlier, so I'm gonna go with 130.
Gotcha. What?
But yeah, speaking back on the 3 to the 1, I was actually meaning as far as the level, the height of the hair. The 3 means the height. You know what I'm saying? So they'll think they got a fro and talk about
Another thing, add on to that, clients will show you picture. Hey, I want to look like that.
Yeah,
and I tell clients, hey, look,
the pinstripe pictures.
I'm not a musician. I'm a beautician. But and then sometimes you have to explain to the client the texture and the density of this hair.
Right.
It's not yours, so it won't look like that.
Gotcha.
So you have to be knowledgeable and explain to the clients, because if they see what they want and then when they look in the mirror see something different, they may, well, you told me you was gonna, make I look like this.
And this don't look like that.
And then you have those clients that come in and every time you put the clip across the head, one time they looking back in the mirror.
Yeah.
You cut it, they looking back in the mirror.
Well, that's when you take your
hold
comb
on,
and you
come
pop
on,
them on their head like women used to do their daughter. Sit down. But anyway, so right, we want to thank you guys for coming out. I really had a good time with this topic and these discussions. So with that being said, we want to ask you guys to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Shop Talk Live GBU. Thanks for coming out.
Shop Talk Live, where professional stylists, barbers, makeup artists, and nail techs give you the 411 on the good, the bad, and the ugly of everything you want to know about natural hair, hair weaving, makeup, nails, education, products, and more. Real talk. It's what you've been waiting for. Shop Talk Live. Good, bad, the ugly.